Sometimes the stuff that really keeps you up at night isn't from horror movies or ghost stories. Nope. The most genuinely unsettling, mind-bending truths. They come from science. And today, we're going to dive into some of the absolute strangest facts our universe has to offer.
Just let that sink in for a second. What if the basic rules that run reality, that govern nature, even your own body, are way weirder and maybe more terrifying than anything we could ever make up? Well, let's take a look at the evidence, starting with the one place you'd think you'd be safest.
That's right, we're starting our journey right here, inside of you. Because the first unsettling truth is, you aren't exactly who or what you think you are.
Look at that number, 10 to 1. So, what does that mean? Well, for every single one of your own human cells, there are about 10 microbial cells living on you and inside you. Let me say that again, 10 to 1. You're not just a person, you're a walking, talking planet.
Now, this whole massive colony living with you, your microbiome, it's not some kind of invasion. We actually need it to digest food, to fight off sickness. It's a critical part of being healthy. But it does make you wonder, doesn't it? In this relationship, who's the host and who's just along for the ride?
Okay, so our physical bodies are way more crowded and less us than we thought. But our mind, right? Our memories, our consciousness, that has to be the real deal. That's who we are. Well, about that, even that foundation is a lot shakier than you might think.
This is where we get into false memories. See, your brain isn't a perfect video recorder. It's more of a creative storyteller. It can literally invent memories of things that never happened. And you'll believe them. You'll even defend them as if they were completely real. The takeaway here is, you can't always trust your own mind.
All right, let's step outside of ourselves for a minute. If our own biology is kind of unsettling, some of the ways that life has figured out how to survive are, well, they're pure nightmare fuel.
Let's talk about the parasitic wasp. This is not science fiction. This is happening in gardens all over the world. The whole process is just chillingly efficient. The caterpillar is kept alive, basically acting as a living nursery and an all-you-can-eat buffet for the baby wasps, who literally eat their way out. It is brutal, but you can't deny it works. And if that wasn't enough for you, let's talk about real-life zombies. The cordyceps fungus basically hijacks an ant's brain. It forces the ant to climb up high, clamp its jaws onto a leaf, and just wait. Then the fungus bursts out of the ant's head to spread its spores. It's pure body-snatching horror.
So, from the microscopic to the bugs in your backyard, life's strategies are pretty intense. But what about the places where life has to survive? Some of the most hostile alien environments you can imagine aren't on distant planets. They're right here on Earth.
I mean, just look at this. When you really compare them, the deep ocean is every bit as alien and dangerous as the vacuum of space. They're both these huge voids defined by crushing extremes. The big difference? Life actually figured out how to live down there, and it evolved some seriously creepy ways to do it. Just try to picture it. You're in complete, total blackness, miles under the water. Then you see a single, beautiful light. You're drawn to it, mesmerized. And just as you get close, you realize it's a lure, and the jaws of some terrifying predator snap shut. Down there, light isn't a sign of hope. It's a weapon.
And while we're talking about hostile voids, let's clear something up about space. You know how in movies people exposed to a vacuum just explode? Yeah, that doesn't happen. The reality is much quieter, and honestly, way more disturbing. The lack of pressure would make the liquids in your body just boil.
So we've covered biology, we've covered hostile environments, but what happens when we start looking at the fabric of reality itself? This is where things get really, really weird. Turns out, the basic rules of physics make almost no common sense at all.
But before we go full physics, check out how biology can bend the rules too. We have a creature that basically spits in the face of death. This tiny jellyfish, if it gets old or stressed out, can hit the reset button. It reverts its cells back to their baby stage and starts its life all over again. It found a loophole for mortality.
Okay, this is where things can make your brain feel a little fuzzy. In our world, a coffee mug is on the table. It's solid, it's predictable. But down at the quantum level, particles can be in a bunch of places at once, and they can be linked together in a way that seems to break the universe's ultimate speed limit, the speed of light.
This idea, quantum entanglement, was so bizarre and so counterintuitive that even Albert Einstein couldn't wrap his head around it. He hated it.
He called it spooky action at a distance because it just didn't feel like real physics. It felt like magic. And yet, it's a fundamental part of how our universe works.
So let's zoom all the way out. We've gone from the quantum world to the cosmic. And out here, the unsettling truths are about sheer scale, cosmic violence, and the overwhelming vast mystery of it all. If you ever got too close to a black hole, this is what would happen to you. The gravity pulling on your feet would be so much stronger than the gravity pulling on your head that you would just be stretched and stretched and stretched into a long, thin string of atoms. The name, spaghettification, sounds almost cute for what is a truly terrifying way to go. You know, all these crazy physics and violent cosmic events we can actually observe, they're one thing. But the most humbling, the most profoundly unsettling truth of all comes from everything we can't see.
Look at this chart. This is everything. And all this stuff we actually know, every star, every galaxy, every planet, you, me, all of it, is made of what we call ordinary matter. And all of that, everything we've ever seen or touched, adds up to a tiny 5% of the known universe. The rest, it's a complete and total mystery.
What that means is we're all living our lives on this tiny, tiny sliver of cosmic understanding. All the unsettling science we've talked about today, that's all part of the 5% we think we have a handle on. Which leaves us with the ultimate haunting question. What kind of truths are waiting for us in the other 95%?